What it is, ladies and gentlemen, it's your man King Kooda coming to you live from the ones or twos, and today we'll be having a discussion on can you spam for me? The benefits and detriment of spam. As I always say to love you ladies in the background, it's my beautiful wife and daughter. We're gonna get right to it. So what is spam? How is it detrimental to your business? Spam is a product created by Hormel, a company that specializes in procuring and packaging beef and pork. Products include pepperoni, stew, chili, bacon, and peanut butter. Skippy. You heard that correctly. So the Chichi corn chips that you're eating right now, they're probably pork rinds. Anyway, spiced ham was the entree of the World War II era. The American military was not happy about it. The simple fact that it still exists is still mind-boggling to me. So much that it is a corn phrase to define unsolicited commercial emails and unsolicited bulk emails. These emails are received involuntarily and usually contain advertisement for products or other services. Let's be honest, nobody likes spam. You don't even like spam. Not even your grandmother likes spam. What is the CAM Spam Act? The U.S. law formed the Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing Act in 2003 and was enforced by the Federal Trade Commission. The CAM Spam Act reduces the amount of unsolicited commercial messages and gives recipients the right to opt out. This law prohibits deceptive strategies. In other words, the sender must state their origin. The consequences of spam. If you're lying about your spam and something inappropriate, and you send something inappropriate to somebody like porn, penalties include paying a fine between $16,000 to $2 million. This also includes paying a lawyer to keep you out of prison. As a person who struggled with pornography, I could easily fall by the wayside and put my family in a compromising position because spammers usually commit fraud, bank scams. Furthermore, offensive messages can be delivered. Depending on the victim, this could be sexual assault or sexual harassment. If the, it is how scammers fish for information. Spam and fighting games. Define and executing the offensive maneuver or combo many times in succession. In Tekken 8, if my opponent is a hard knockdown situation, I would simply press 1 plus 2 input, which are nunchucks with martial law. With Lee, which is a Jeet Kune Do practitioner, I will press back 3-3. I will press these inputs until my opponent is knocked out. This is called okizeme in the Japanese term strategy in fighting games and also in real life. Your opponent may be salty, but if it ain't broken, don't fix it, baby. It is your responsibility to protect yourself at all times. It is your opponent's responsibility to protect themselves as well. If they keep losing to the same scrubby moves, then it's your opponent's fault for not adjusting to the situation, not yours. So they should be sending those nasty emails or messages about you being a trash player to themselves, not you. How do you think Bill Belichick and Tom Brady won so many Super Bowls? It's about using what works and letting go what does not. Most importantly, improving every day. In other words, make them stop you. What would be your marketing strategy looking like to be legal, ethical, and profitable? Since I'm a songwriter, audio producer, website developer, content creator, magazine writer, and martial artist, I could use my talents to open up my production company. My dream is to make movies, video games, manga, and anime. The content I create will be martial art influenced, and part of the reason why I became a student of Team Z MMA. Upcoming projects. After my graduation to vacation, I plan on helping my wife build her e-commerce website for her catering business. Mixtape will be called Back in the Palace, which is hip-hop based. Manga anime series called Star of Emmanuel, Revelation of the King. Album will be called White Out Experience, and continue developing websites for $1,200, and to build the website and monthly upkeep will be $500 a month. and writing magazine articles for people, which I'm partnered with my father for. In other words, I don't believe spamming is a product that you can use in order to legally advise anybody to do. If that person don't like your content, great. If they do like your content, great. But I refuse to be a person who bugs somebody to or begs somebody to buy my product when my product speaks for itself. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your patience. Stay blessed and stay tuned, baby. Peace.